Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. I am Sabrina the Witch. By now, maybe some of you know me. If you are returning, thank you for returning. If you are new here, I am a practitioner of the shamanic witchcraft path, nature-based religion, very much related to Wicca. Wicca does have a category of shamanic witchcraft, although there's not a lot of people that actually do practice that. Over the past 5 years, I have shared a lot of my thoughts and my experiences, and I began to share what happens when I do certain things. I've also written an ebook. I've created an online course, which I'll talk about in a few minutes. And I've grown at a snail's pace. I've come to realize that this is and probably always will be a very difficult type of work to try to make a living at. Now, some people are successful if they write a book and they market it all the time. And if they have built up some capital where they can devote themselves to really marketing their products and their services. This is not something that I want to be busy every single day performing services for people. I do enjoy making products, and I have learned that recently I've had to focus on marketing to a magical community. So in that vein, I have been posting more on my Instagram. If you would like to go there and follow me, it is Astarte Apothecary. I also have a Casting Cauldron Facebook page where I do share my videos. And I've also joined a pagan community online, and they do have Self-Promotion Saturday, which is very nice. And I take advantage of that to post a link every now and then, along with everybody else who's got a pagan business that they are trying to promote as well. The artist who actually I commissioned to create my pendant here is going to provide a link on her store, Limitless Liberations. But she's currently on a break because she is moving house, going to another state, and needs to recover from that. So those are things that I'm very grateful for, and I know that they will help increase my sales. But I am going to be focusing more, and I'm feeling pulled more and more away from doing YouTube as much anymore. Along with the recession that we are currently in, which I know we've been in for several months, people are much more focused on how they can make money, save money, and so forth. Now, I have always used my spiritual practice to help me understand how to get more money, and that led me to learn about what money is, and then I've done a few different things that way. I've actually taught myself about the stock market, and I follow that from time to time. So as I have practiced on my own and grown with my confidence and my money in the stock market, I have learned even more over the past 5 years. So now I'm looking forward to actually growing my retirement account back up again and getting a personal broker. So this is the time really that we would have an opportunity to get in at the bottom and actually see a greater profit over time. I'm not young. I just turned 63, but I'm a late bloomer. So if I, have the next 5 years until I'm 68, where I can actually grow a large amount of money, then I'm going to have to find other avenues of bringing in income. So I'm not going to be working my YouTube channel as much. It's a lot of work for one person. I do need to take a break from it. And as I sat outside on the patio last night to enjoy the moon, I realized how much I really want to not do so much on YouTube. I'm probably going to go through and filter out some more videos, but I'll leave the ones that are instructional and that share really helpful information. If you sat out on your patio, or last night if you looked at the moon, you might have noticed that it was larger or brighter, and that is because it's a super moon. Today is the 10th. It is Wednesday, and I am in the United States. Now, depending on whether you follow the Vedic astrology or the tropical Western astrology, the moon is either in Capricorn for me according to my app, or it's in Aquarius if you are following the tropical Western astrology. Now, I don't know why my app does that, but I think I'm being led to actually study more Vedic astrology because I'm very much into the stars. Like I said, we live in a trickle-down hierarchical system of energy where it starts at the stars and it trickles down into the planets, and then the moon, through the moon, it manifests into the world. So, yes, with the moon being so close, the closest to the earth really that I think it can come, it was beautiful. It was magnificent. And I love it anytime. I wish that I had a summer room where I could just set up a cot and sleep out there staring at the moon. Now, this is one way that you can connect to the moon, which has been assigned a feminine gender, the goddess. Everyone has this aspect within them. Any man who's practicing Wicca or nature-based religion, goddess-based religion, generally is taught to connect to the goddess. This is how we can have more balance within us emotionally and physically. That is what happened to me when I finally got in touch with my inner goddess who was missing. It's very important for women. A lot of us don't feel comfortable in our skin. We don't understand. A lot of the stress that we have is because we have had the goddess cut out of our religion. If you have been in a religion that is patriarchal and one-sided, she is the other half of the Lord. She is the partner. So looking at the moon can be a way for you to draw down the moon. Typically people would take an atame or a sword and they would point it at the moon and then point it to their heart. But you can use your mind and you can just sit and enjoy the light of the moon. You could even breathe it in like I did. Now the way it will work with you depends on really, I think, your blueprint and what's going on in your life. For me last night, I had some very jumbled up, confusing dreams, and I have had that for the past several nights. And that has to do with a lot of confusion, like I said, that I'm having right now with spending really too much time on YouTube and looking at other avenues where I can talk about what I have available and how to use it. This here is a lot of work, and even coming on here and just talking about everything I have for sale and how to use it is not really something that I want to do a lot. But on this supermoon, take advantage of it. Remember now that we are under the constellation of Leo. So it's still going to work with Leo energy, and this might help you feel a sense of courage, self-confidence, self-worth, self-esteem, physical vitality, a lot of things that relate to Leo, your personal appearance. Maybe you'll give yourself a makeover, change your wardrobe, whatever. I went to get my eyebrows tinted the other day so that they last longer. Self-care. So yeah, it just depends on what you're going through in your life as to how it will work. Now, sometimes because the full moon works out of time, it can have to do with both the past, the present, and the future. And in fact, I've had 3 dreams on different nights during the full moon phase that showed me the end, the middle, and the beginning of something that would happen with someone. And I don't know if it's my daughter or my son, but it had to do with finding a partner, getting married, having a new house, and a baby. So hopefully someday in the near future I'll find out who it is. But I do have dreams about myself as well sometimes. And my spirit guides will give me a dream to help me get through my days. So you could either have a dream of the past, perhaps, that would help you examine it and let it go. Or you could have a dream about what's going on in the present, give you more understanding. Or you could have, if you are somewhat prophetic like me, I'm very prophetic. I always have dreams of the future. You might have a dream of the future that gives you hope for tomorrow. This is important. If we cannot see it, we can fall into sadness. Sometimes it's helpful to get a dream. Now, I do have a course on creating within you an ability to have a dream that you can remember, and it is called Dream Recall, and it is at my website called Magic School, which is on a program called Thinkific. It's a very good program for making simple or elaborate online courses, and I have a very simple online course. Now, I will leave the link below. For dream work relating to dreaming and the sky, I recommend a blue candle. In particular, a light blue candle. Okay? And especially if you are working with the goddess Astarte on this Wednesday evening, which she is very strongly related to for divination. This is a wonderful time for divination. You've got a super full moon on a Wednesday, and that can work very well with a goddess like Astarte. So, and this is a candle that I used in my dream work course. Maybe you know what that is. But yes, you can anoint it, for example, with my psychic eye oil, which I have on my store, and then do all of the other recommendations that I talked about, or just sit by it and focus on what your question is. I am trying to consider what types of work I can do to really increase my income so that I can rebuild my savings. And it's kind of a vexing question, so I'm going to focus again tonight on the moon with a clear question and a clear mind, and get some kind of intuition or a dream on exactly how I'm going to go about making the kind of money that I really want to make over the next 12 months. Now, again, in relation to Astarte in particular, you could use lavender. She has said that being feminine, you would use all the pastel shades. This is lavender, and it is a 5-day candle from the dollar store. Now, you could start this on tonight, and you could continue lighting it every night for the next 5 or 6 days to carry that energy forward. because you have to give it time. Sometimes you have to wait for your answer to maybe come through information from somewhere or some person. Workings done on the full moon will generally culminate within about 2 weeks. In some cases, depending on what else is going on in your life, in your environment, it could take another full cycle and manifest for you on the next full moon. Another thing you could use is just a very small chime candle. Where the heck is my... There it is. You light the bottom of it and stick it to a little candle holder of some kind and sit next to that. The purple will actually help give you a stronger connection to psychism, okay? It really does relate to Jupiter, which is about the occult and the higher mind, higher learning. And this could also help you get an answer to your question. You don't have to spend a lot of money on supplies. Also, being a Wednesday, you could use a yellow candle that relates to Mercury. It's up to you. Go by what you feel. Now, I have been practicing for many years, and I have found, and you will have to discover for yourself how colors work with you as you progress in your practice, because they can change as you become intermediate to advanced. For me, the silver candle very strongly relates to the goddess and the moon, and it's not only brought me help for my mother, but money when I needed it when I was in college. I've talked about using a silver candle to call on the goddess to help my mother, and it was on a Tuesday, which relates to Mars. Get her some quick help for her home as she was being stonewalled and waiting while others who did not have an honorable discharge were not getting any help. And within 2 days she called me and she said, "Oh my gosh, I got a call. They're sending me someone very soon." So, and then when I was in college, I was having a lot of trouble, and I had burned a silver candle over a period of several days. Some remarkable things happened with it at my altar. That is your heart of power. And I finally was able to contact someone else who came back from vacation and said, "You are right, I'm so sorry. We're going to give you $1,000 scholarship to get into the right class." So that's what I'm going to be using tonight. I could be overly confused and just need to look at what I already have right now and how I can make the most of it. We are getting a pretty good salary now that we've got a raise for being a substitute teacher, but I don't want to do it 4 days a week. So now of course, are some other things that you can add, such as anointing it with an oil, sprinkling it with some herbs, and adding stones that amplify and help you connect, such as the clear quartz crystal. I highly recommend it. It's an all-purpose stone, and anyone who doesn't know that it is used because of its ability to store energy and doesn't believe it does anything, doesn't know enough. I've had quite a few different types of experiences that prove to me this is a source of storage for energy, and was on the stones, the ends of the wands of the witches and the wizards of old, that when they pointed to release energy, this was at the end to magnify and release it. So I usually put that at the base of a candle or next to a candle or beside it, in front of a mirror with a sigil on it, like I have for Astarte. So now that is my instruction for today. I have a few things I need to go out and do now, very mundane. I need to start focusing on getting back to my regular mundane life and my mundane work. I also have to change financial institutions. If anybody had watched my video on changing banks and going to cheese, they are closing. So I need to now, fortunately, I've opened another account at a bank at the end of the block here. So I need to get on the computer and deal with that to move my money to a different bank now. So there's quite a lot of mundane things that are telling me I need to focus more on my mundane life and the kind of money that I really need to make. I've still got some, older bills coming at me and things that I want to do. One of them is my friends are planning on taking a little outing out of town, maybe renting a nice big cabin for us to spend a few days. And I haven't been on vacation for a few years since the pandemic. So I really need to focus on where I know I can get some return on my investment of time and energy. So I just want you to know that I might not be on here more than a couple times a month over the next few months, okay? And if I am able to get a long-term assignment, which I have been contemplating and seeing if I can get, I'll be super uber busy and tired for that entire month and might not even be making a video that month, all right? So if you have any questions or comments, please leave them below. I encourage you to learn more about the foundations of nature-based religion and witchcraft and Wicca and the charge of the goddess, which is in the very beginning of Silver Raven Wolf's book, To Ride a Silver Broomstick. That is the foundation, getting in touch with the goddess and going through the charge of the goddess. And I think it does involve going out and looking at the moon. I had my own experience in a dream, and it just made me feel whole again as a woman. So yeah, definitely look up the charge of the goddess, look up the information about these goddess-based religions and what that means and how to set up an altar. Mine has evolved over the years, where you have a symbol of both the god and the goddess for balance. And I wish you well, stay calm and focused on what you want and need. Enjoy your life as much as you can, and get out or sit by the window and enjoy the moon for some time tonight. All right? And I will see you sometime in the future. Take care.